Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. We're a show about podcasts featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who help podcasters with their podcasting. On each episode, a few of us folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 show submissions we've gotten from podcasters. Why? Well, in order to find what we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second podcast clip. They'll then need to pick the correct podcast title from a lineup of 3 choices before being shown the artwork for that show. Before we get the show on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for today. Starting with Prateek.
Hey, everyone.
Next up, we've got Jesse.
Hello.
And of course, we have Oliver.
Hey.
As well as Elissa, our producer, who I'm sure has an ad read for us.
Oh, just a short one. With Headliner, you get trusted results, whether you're uploading audiograms to YouTube or promoting your podcast across the web. Quickly digest information using easy-to-read data visualizations and downloadable tables. To track your pod's growth, visit dashboard.headliner.app.
All right, cool. Thank you for that. So we've got a smaller roster of contestants this week, so let's just dive into things, starting with Prateek.
Let's do it.
Cool.
And like you said, I think when the show in the last season that you had a few of your designs out there, everyone said it was quite aggressive. But now, you hear about what goes on in the process of producing something like this. And then you're like, that makes so much sense. People want to express themselves. They want to let people know what they're thinking. It's not like before where they're hiding themselves under clothes.
Yeah, they don't have to hide behind anything. I need it to be like an expression of what you feel inside. And, to talk about it, also the fact that you can't bring up children today the way we were brought up. It's a different world, especially even with me, with my boys. You have to somewhere understand where they're coming from, meet them at their level. Their thinking is not what your thinking was, but I also think that it's a plus because they're so much more confident than, I look at my son today at 21 and 20, or even when he was 18, and God, I was a cow. I didn't understand anything.
All right, there you go, Prateek. And here are your options for today. Number 1, canceled plans. Number 2, unexpected joys. And number 3, happy trails and life's turns.
Well, none of those seem to be helpful. I thought it was I thought there was some kind of like fashion podcast, but none of those titles seem to be related. So it's more about life, I guess. Okay, sorry, can you just go over all 3 of them again?
Yeah, sure. So the first one is canceled plans. That's canceled with 2 L's, the British spelling. Unexpected
I'm some Indian
joys.
podcasts.
Yeah. Unexpected joys and happy trails and life's turns. And that is, just to be specific and thorough, that's happy spelt the British way, which is the same as the American way. But I did feel the need to call that.
I was about to say, Nicholas.
Let's go with the first one, canceled plans.
Okay. Canceled plans it is. And you are correct.
Nice.
It was that. I'm sure the part where I said it was the British. Oh, really? Because I thought I gave it away when I said it's the British spelling.
I thought that might be helpful, but no, it was just a complete guess on my part.
Okay.
I can't spell, so I don't know that spelling are ever really helpful.
Well, here you go. This was from the episode Seema Sajda, You Do You, and the description for the show is, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans," is a John Lennon quote that Malika Reddy swears by. She's the founder and creative director of Canceled Plans, a sustainable streetwear fashion brand that makes its products from industrial waste. The brand saw some difficult times in the past couple of years and has taken a bit of a hiatus. It is now coming back as a new company, building a community of creative changemakers. Here's a podcast that looks at the plans we make and the plans we break by sharing the unexpected journeys of creative individuals from various walks of lives who have made their mark with their stories and the curveballs life throws at them.
Okay, so it is something to do with fashion then. I just
yeah, it is a fashion show in its own way. So very cool stuff. And yeah, also just a fan of that artwork. I'm a sucker for a good digital effect. I think that's the Canva one on their artwork.
Duotone?
It's nice. No, not the duotone. I mean the digital distortion on the word canceled
Yeah.
plans. But yes, I am a sucker for duotone also. So yeah, very cool stuff all around. Jumping on over to you, Jesse. You ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Neat.
You want to shout about Sandy Day might not win? Huh? So you gotta take the heat when it comes to stuff on your side too. You feel me? Yes. So what we gonna do about the push-ups? Because Anderson over here doing 200 in a day, and I don't know how you doing. But is you gonna do them? I know you can. You got arms, but what's the deal? I'll do it. Okay. All right. Mr. Russell, can you kind of speak to what it takes to keep yourself so focused on, what's important in life, especially from an education standpoint? When I know most of the people today is sports, and really only sports. School and academics is not even on their radar, especially this time of the year if they into football. So number one, how important is it to keep him focused on his academics?
Okay. There was your clip. Weirdly relevant because I don't know if anyone saw this, but a stat was published like 2 days ago where like regular absence in school is up to like 25% or something now. But
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, just like weirdly relevant that we heard that today. Anyway, here are your options. Number one, hey, I've got something to say. Number two, a little bit of everything. And number three, something to say.
Something to say. Okay. Could you repeat number one, please?
Hey, I've got something to say.
I like that it rhymes.
Oh, it does.
And I feel like they do have some things to say. So I'm going to go with number one.
Okay. Number one is woefully incorrect. It was actually just something to say. And hey, nice effort. Nice effort. That was a tough one. I would have made it a lot easier. I would have made one of the options say anything, which would have obviously been wrong, but cool stuff all around.
I was also looking for anything that said sport, football, or fitness, and I was just going to instantly lock that in. So I'm glad that was none of them.
Okay, so if it was like the sports fitness podcast about saying stuff, that would have been the one for you.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. This is from the episode Something to Say Anderson and Andre Russell. So I know they were just saying the name of the show in the episode title, but I like to think that Anderson's name is Something to Say Anderson. Like that's just his thing. He always has something to say.
Anderson.
Anderson, he's something to say. And our description is very, very to the point. It's just the word everything. It's about everything. So I guess that's why, Elissa, you made one of them a little bit of everything as the options.
Yeah, I did not listen to this clip previously, and I was grasping for straws. So I was like,
okay,
everything. That's one of the words that they gave me. So,
and that explains why it isn't the sports fitness something to say podcast. Okay, fair enough.
Had I known.
Very cool, and yeah, good artwork here. I never see people go with like purple backgrounds on art. This is very tangential, but purple's a very hard color to design around, apparently. So it's really cool to see it here. And yeah, it actually works really well. So good on him. Moving on to our next contestant, Oliver. Would you like to go?
I would like to go.
Neat.
However, really oddly, over the years, popular music has gone in the direction of pop, if you like. Loads of people say to me now, God, that album, I've really changed my opinion about that album now. It's a really good record. It's just a pop record, which is true. There was lots of wranglings around how we made it, and I never produced it or got involved in any of the production or anything like that. But I think it's viewed a lot better now than it was back then. But I would say it is the least favourite of the fans of the albums we did.
And you told me before that you were going to redo it, like A Little Kicks Naked. So how is that progressing? Is there any development in that?
Okay. There was your clip, Oliver. And here are your three choices. Number 1, the Excess Noise Podcast. To specify, excess as in the letters X and S, not the word excess.
I know, Nick.
Noise
Go
with a
on.
Z.
Yes, I already knew that. Thank you.
Okay, we're
thanks for
firmly rooting this in the 90s.
Yeah, I
is what
don't
I'm
need
getting.
training wheels. Okay, good.
Okay. Number 2, the Rockin' B-roll with Caroline and Polacek.
No.
And number 3, making noise on and off stage. And noise is spelled correctly.
This is a tough one. I know it's
Hmm.
not option B. I just know it. I'm going to go ahead and say, although I loved option 1, I loved it. I'm going to go with option 3.
Making noise on and off stage is incorrect. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
You were right that it wasn't the one with Carolyn Polacek on it. It is the Excess Noise Podcast.
man.
Yeah.
What a good title.
It's a great
It's a really good one.
This is probably the favorite title that I've ever seen. I loved this so much.
And
so cool. The artwork's cool too.
yeah. And the clip we just listened to was from episode 172. Paul Draper on live shows marking the 25th anniversary of Manson's iconic 6 album. So there you have it. That is the 90s still. 25 years is still the 90s. Yeah, it's 1999. So there you go. Iconic alt-rock album, if I'm not mistaken. And here's our show description. The Excess Noise Podcast is a weekly music podcast presented by Excess Noise editor-in-chief Mark Miller. Each week, we feature in-depth interviews with prominent music artists of the day. So, really cool. I'm assuming Excess Noise is a music magazine then, or a music news site of some kind. And that's super neat. I have to find a new music site because Pitchfork's gone kaput. So there you go. On that note, let's have everybody just band together for one last, go at things and see if we could turn this game around. Prateek's the only one who's gotten one right this week.
Could you imagine?
Oh, the living single.
Yeah, a homie clown on a love boat.
Oh. No, not
he's entertainment.
Not in living color. I'm talking about living single.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I'm still on living color because I want homie clown to hit people and just run around because he's entertainment. But they can't.
No. See, you
living single.
You want to have the series in those characters. I'm saying no. Write it in the form of a Love Boat.
Okay.
Give it the Love Boat energy where it's these because even in the day of the Love Boat, I remember when like the Jeffersons were on there one time, like Sherman and Hensley, but they weren't George and Wheezy, but they were playing the married couple. Like
actually,
somebody out there.
Actually, they played the married couple on Lois and Clark.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
okay.
on Superman. Lois
but I think they did it on a Love Boat episode.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
Okay. There was your clip. I hope everyone here is familiar with what the Love Boat is.
Oh God, I love that show so much.
Okay, good.
Again, it is also fantastic.
It's really bad. The theme to the Love Boat is such an earworm that it's been stuck in my head for the past month. Because this is a tangent. My dog has severe anxiety and will wake people up at night. So to get around it, I put Pluto TV on at night to the Love Boat channel and literally leave it on a timer.
That's
so I know
wonderful.
the theme song way too well. At any rate, here are your 3 choices for the day. Number 1, Kim and Mason Contemporary Living, with a K in contemporary. Number 2, Current Trends, with Chris and Kendall, and that's again with a K. Number 3, Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, and you guessed it, also with a K.
Kenny or Kathy?
Both,
and culture.
Like all of the C words are with K's.
Yeah.
But that's for all of them, right? Like all 3
All of
titles have K's across the board. That's not helpful.
That is correct.
I was hoping that only one of them had the K thing, and that would be it. But
nope.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't hear an option with the C word.
What do you mean?
What?
That all the C word is spelled with a K.
Yeah.
Yeah, on all of them.
All of them, right?
Contemporary, current,
Culture.
culture all have K's in them. Like
And the names are also with K's, I think.
Yes.
So this must be the Kardashians.
Could be.
Maybe.
What, can you go over the titles again, Nicholas?
Sure. Kim and Mason, Contemporary Living.
Oh, that sounds good.
Current Trends with Chris and Kendall. And Kathy and Kenny, Explain Pop Culture.
Really could be anything.
So I'm assuming that these names are the names of the hosts, correct? Is that something that we can ask?
I mean,
I
yes,
feel like
you can
that's
ask
fair.
that. It would be
Okay.
strange if Kim and Mason wasn't the names of the host. Like it's just Kim Gordon and some dude named Mason.
So I'm getting number 3 vibes from the names. Just I feel like they're a Kenny.
Yeah, just a very muffled voice in a parka. You're right.
That took me a second.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I didn't get it still.
It's a South Park joke.
South Park reference, yeah.
Oh.
So I feel like option 2 is the Kardashians. Like that's the Kardashian names. So that's
Kendall.
so yeah.
But then, Jesse, what I'm thinking is, what if the person's actual name is Kendall, and that's why they did it?
And
Right.
Chris and Kendall is that pairing.
Yeah, but you're
Yes.
right. It's probably not the right one.
No, it's probably not the first one, right? Because it's something in Mason. So I think that both the names have to be with a K for the other K stuff to make sense. So we can probably throw the first one out.
So you think it's a double K podcast?
It's all about
You've
the
never
Ks.
heard of Mason with a silent K?
Is it at the beginning or where is it in there?
Man,
It
it's
has to
silent.
be.
You don't need to know.
Invisible too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd pick between the second and the third one.
Of those 2, I'm leaning more 3.
Let's go with 3 then.
Strong 3.
Strong
Okay.
3.
Kathy and Kenny, Explain Pop Culture is the correct answer. Good on you
Nice.
guys.
Thank you,
See,
Kenny.
we couldn't. And yeah, this was an episode about the Love Boat. It's called The Love Boat 2023. Here's our show description. Join the sister and brother team of Kathy and Kenny, 2 former latchkey kids who navigate the moments and memories of pop culture, one topic or 2 at a time. Come into the web of pop culture connections and connect with us as we list favorites, chat with friends, and flashback to the best flashpoints in pop culture. It's all about fun, friendly pop culture connections. It's actually a really good description for a show. I like how they created a narrative around being like former latchkey kids. It's kind of neat. And for anyone listening, because I think I got a look at one point from Elissa that's like, what's a latchkey kid? Those are the kids back in the day. Those are the kids from back in the day who would like get out of school, but mom and dad are at work. So they'd run home and lock the door, and TV was kind of their parent.
I didn't know that either. Okay.
Yeah, that's what a latchkey kid is.
Like latchkey. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
seeing pictures now. This makes sense.
So yeah, the 70s was like the boom of sitcoms, Happy Days, latchkey kids, stuff like that.
They also mentioned the Jeffersons, which they did a guest appearance on Love Boat. That was a good episode.
There you go.
Jefferson's also a great show.
Yeah. So there you have it. A little bit of random trivia for you. You learned what a latchkey kid is today. And those were our shows. Thank you to everyone for playing. You got 2 out of 4 right. So it isn't quite the heights you were at last week, but that's okay. You could totally blame it on Max and Christy for not making it to help your numbers.
And Dash, he's still a part of this.
Oh, yes, and Dash.
He's always with us.
He's actually the lifeline you guys call when you can't pick.
Oh.
Yeah. We slack huddle him. Anyway, on that note, thank you for playing, and thank you to everyone for listening. Better luck next week. So yeah, bye-bye.